ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ। ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ। ਕਮਾਲੇ ਕਰਾਮਾਤ ਕਾਇਮ ਕਰੀਮ, ਰਜ਼ਾ ਬਖਸ਼ ਰੋਜ਼ੀ ਰਿਹਾ ਕੋ ਰਹੀਮ। ਅਮਾ ਬਖਸ਼ੋ ਬਖਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਓ ਦਸਤਗੀਰ, ਰਜ਼ਾ ਬਖਸ਼ ਰੋਜ਼ੀ ਦੇਹੋ ਦਿਲ ਪਸੀਰ। शहनशाह खूबी देहो रहनुमू, कि बेगूनो बेचूनो चूबे नमू। न साजो न बाजो न फौजो न फर्श, खुदावंद बख्शन देओ ऐ शर्श। धन धन गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब महाराज। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Today we are visiting this topic of NAAM, Maharaj. These topics, these talks are meant to inspire us to understand the Guru Granth, an inner mind, the journey of life, pose questions of spirituality to us, and also try and explore what is of interest. What is this life's journey? which is seen and unseen, which we can understand, and sometimes what confuses us. What is our answer to these serious questions of pain and death? And what are the guidance which Guru Sahib gives us about this? Naam is a very intensely used word in the Guru Granth Sahib. I can safely say that every Shabad, in every page, the word Naam will come. The journey of Guru Granth Sahib actually is about the journey of Naam and Man. An inner mind, our mind visiting Naam. So Naam in that way is a very expansive word, very difficult to define in a few words. But we can understand Naam in concepts. And the actual knowing of Naam can only happen with its experience. Some things are not merely words, but they are an experiential subject, something which we live through. The Guru Granth Sahib uses this word bujna very often. We know the word samajna, understanding. But bujna is to absorb, to live through, to get transformed. Naam is an energy of transformation. People often ask this question, where is the soul? Where is God? Where is the spirit? These are difficult questions. We think we can never get these answers. But if we make Naam our subject of inquiry, a deep subject of inquiry, which is a caution I must read aloud, say aloud in the beginning, that this is not merely a curiosity subject. It's a life-changing subject. It's a subject which is transcendental towards our life. We can transcend life by understanding Naam. Bhai Gurdas, who is the Saint Paul of Sikhism, who's defined the Guru Granth Sahib in his Vars, says in one of his Shabads, Puchak pathak teh pag nahi tare pag, Pritam ke desh kaise batan te jaiye. They ask, he says, Puchak pathak teh pag nahi tare pag, but they never put their foot on the road. They keep asking and not do. He says, just by merely words, how will you go to the land of the Guru, of the beloved, of my lover? Pritam ke desh kaise batan te jaiye. Life is such a subject that if we live it incompletely, or if we live it in partially, then we can never know it. But if we live it completely, then we can transcend it completely. A journey of a person who has a gold coin in his bag and is searching for gold outside. That is our journey. A journey of a person who has a diamond in his baggage and is trying to find diamonds outside. That is our journey. If we understand Naam, if we can commit our energies to Naam, Guru says we can meet our spirit. We can visit our soul. Most of us have this question of destiny. What will happen to me? The answer lies in Naam. What will happen to us? So let's go to the subject of Naam. In visiting Naam, first we should understand what is Naam's opposite energy we live. We live through our senses. and we live disconnected with Naam. Naam is a presence and energy which is everywhere in creation. So it is synonym with Shabad and Hukam. These are the three elements which we must understand in the Guru Granth mean the same thing to us. Guru Nanak Sahib, when he talks about life, understanding life, he says, Nanak hukme je bujhe, tahome kahe na koe. If we have understood Hukam, we know there is no me. It's a very shocking statement maybe for some of us. But me and I, this ego, is an opportunity. It is not a permanent presence. What we gain and what we lose in life needs to be seen and understood. The source from where we come from creates our ego. And that ego is what we are living, I. And that I is guiding our lives throughout. But while we are living this ego, we are searching, wandering. That is what is pushing us or pulling us. What are we seeking? Judo Krishnamurti says we are seeking happiness forever. Guru Nanak, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj, Guru Granth Sahib, when they talk about the seeking, they use a word Amrit. And this Amrit means many things at the same time. Amrit means Sada, forever, where there is no death. Amrit means happiness and love together. And these are not states which we have to do something. These are natural states of a mind. And so non-doing is the flavor of Naam. So visiting these two energies, Haume, ego, me, and Naam, the base energy, the foundation of life is Naam. Bin naame nahi ko thaun. There is no place in creation without Naam. And so if we are connected to Naam, in some ways we are connected to the entire creation. In some ways we never separate then. In some ways death doesn't do much of a difference to our relationships of life. They are permanent for us because we don't separate from the universal energy which we live. What do we live in our ego mind? We live fear. We live confusion. We live stress depending on how much desire we have. So the dictating energy, the dominant energy of the ego is desire. And the further our desire is from our reality, the more stressful our life is. Or sometimes the stress is coming from just the unfathoming of the karmas of life. And there's not much we can do about it. But Guru can do something. Naam is a gift which is eternal, forever. Ego is not forever. We live through our senses, and in our seeking of happiness, we use these senses to seek happiness. And that is what is the root cause of our pain. We are seeking in the wrong place. These senses lead us to happiness, pleasure, joys, but which are temporary, transient, not permanent. So if we expect these to be permanent, then we will be disappointed. Then we are living in expectation, not in hukam. We are not living in acceptance of what is our hukam. Because we don't know Naam, we are disconnected from Naam. So these two energies are in conflict in our lives constantly. The seeking of happiness through the ego desire and the presence or the non-presence of Naam in my life is causing the conflicts. I lose a job, I make a loss. I don't get admissions in the right place. I blame nature, I blame God. I don't find the reasons for all this. I don't understand what this all means. So it's very easy for me to say, God has left me. Naam is our answer to God, to soul, to spirit. And there is an experience which Naam gives us. So what are the qualities of ego? The ego's qualities are fear, wandering. We are constantly wandering. All of us are wandering, seeking, wanting to know, finding. Where is this joy, this energy we are seeking? From one to the other, whether it is a relationship, experience, or something which we do. Or we just become numb watching TV. Because the pain of seeking is not enough for us. That pain is not what we can live through daily. So Maharaj says, Surnar, Munjan, Amrit khoj de. All of creation is seeking Amrit. And where does that Amrit reside? So Amrit Gurte Paya. So this Naam has a deep connection to Amrit. That is the flavor of our soul, Amrit. Our soul never dies, never takes birth, but it's always with us. With the Naam we can visit our soul. But then we have to make some changes in our life pattern, in the way we seek, and the way we look at life. Because the one foundation which we live is the ego. I only know this body and a very small portion of this mind, the moving mind. So what does Naam give us? Naam gives us rest. If you seek the Guru Granth Sahib and you find Naam in a search, it will always say Samana, Samaya, Samagya, merged with the Creator. If we have merged with the ocean, the river stops moving because it's nowhere else to go. It has found its source, it's found its destiny, it's found its rest, it's found what it was looking for. Naam is non-doing, is not doing. We in ego mind always want to do, and doing is our expression of dictation. We always find doing a necessity. And in fact, in the ego mind, doing is important. If we don't do, we can't live. But in the Naam and the spirit world, non-doing is the flavor. You don't need to do. In fact, you need to stop thinking also, which is our inner crisis, constant thinking, constant churning of thoughts, like a curtain in front of our eyes. Guru Sahib calls it Kood di Pal, the pal of falsehood, wall of deceit, where our vision to life is blocked by our thoughts. So much have we identified ourselves with our thoughts is that we feel that every thought is me, which is not true. Every thought is not me. Thoughts have different sources, different reasons, and different natures. Some thoughts are coming from the universal mind. You will have dreams between 3 to 6 in the morning when you sleep, and the visions are very clear. The messages are very clear. Those are the spirit world touching you, touching us. And that is the hour, 3 to 6. That is the hour they touch us. They send the messages. Some of our thoughts are just the mundane daily thoughts, what we have lived through in the day, incomplete thoughts, incomplete desires, incomplete deep-rooted wants getting completed in the REM sleep, random eye movement sleep. Some of our thoughts are just mundane nonsense. They have no real spaces. Like the ocean. The ocean has a surface full of waves, but the ocean is very deep. We only see the waves, but we don't see what lies in the root of the ocean. Just like that, we don't know what lies in our mind. And here is an essential aspect of visiting the practice of NAAM, Japana. One of the necessary elements is a thoughtless, stable mind. Man re thir raho. Guru Sahib repeats this again and again and again. Jat kat vahi jiyo. Thir ghar baiso har jan pyare. Satgur tumre kaaj saware. Tuk dam karari jo karo. Hazir hazur khudaye. Everywhere Maharaj is talking about a stable mind. Aaron mat ved hathyar. So let us make a note of this, because this is one of the three elements important for making NAAM a part of our lives. Stable mind. Stable and thoughtless mind. Guru Nanak Sahib calls it Surt. So visiting the mind, visiting the deeper elements of the mind requires us to journey within our thought world. We never do that. We never sit and watch our thoughts. Because if we really are able to do it, we will realize that there is a gap between me and my thoughts. That my thoughts are not me. And the moment we get that affirmation, the moment we get that conclusion in our mind, we will realize that the mind is much deeper than just the superficial thoughts we have. One. And the other is that the moving mind is our blockage towards our soul, journey to our soul, to an inner mind. In fact, Guru says, Chalteo man rakhe, amrit chakhe. Keep yourself from the moving mind. Chalteo man rakhe, amrit chakhe. The whole game of ego and NAAM is played in the mind. The ego is a temporary existence, an opportunity to play this game of love with the Creator, to play this game of inner seeking, a journey from temporary to permanence, a journey from this life which is constantly changing to a sada, life of sada, forever, timeless, akal murat. This needs to visit the visitation of NAAM. This needs NAAM's understanding. So we have to live the ego. We all live the ego mind. But we have to also transcend the ego mind. This is our deepest illness. Home dirag rog hai, daru bhi isma hai. This is our disease, the ego. If we are able to transcend the ego, then we can use the ego to benefit. But if we can't transcend the ego, then the ego will use us, and it will be the reason for our pain. Home dirag rog hai, daru bhi isma hai. Kirpa kare je apni tak gur ka shabad kamaye. So these three elements, Shabad, NAAM and Hukam, they are similar, same energies. Shabad is also an ever-present energy. It is the presence of Guru, Shabad. The formless Guru. The Guru who has no form, no name. But it is defined in the Guru Granth. So the Guru Granth is a name. But the Shabad is coming from the Creator itself. So where does the Shabad come from? How do How do we encourage the Shabad to take control of our lives? How does Shabad help us transform our inner mind? These are the ways of how to visit NAAM. And so the qualities of NAAM have found rest, cessation of wandering. No wandering happens then. Security, stability, anand, happiness and love reside in this NAAM. And this NAAM resides in a place which Guru calls Ghar, a permanent house. Not these houses we live in. These are temporary abodes. These are homestays, cement and iron, which we have to leave one day. But Guru says NAAM rests in a house within our mind, which is permanent, which is sada, timeless. This NAAM also is finding its rest of sahaj, non-doing, santok, where desire is not needed, satiation of the mind. The mind becomes complete. It no longer desires. It's no longer hungry. So the ego mind never ceases from being hungry. That is the nature of ego. Fear, always desiring, never satiated. This is the nature of the ego mind. And exactly opposite is the NAAM. It is always tript. It is santok. It does not desire anymore because it has found that energy, that love, that happiness, that centering which it was always looking for. Jis jal nid karan tum jagaye, so amrit gurte pahe jiyo. And then Guru says that if we are seeking for this outside, then we will find pain. That we will find sorrow if we are looking for happiness in this ego world constantly. Bahar tundat bahut tuk paave, kat amrit karma hai jiyo. That amrit, that anand, that happiness, that completeness, that rest, which we are all desiring, doesn't live outside. It lives within us. It's the NAAM world which holds the secret to life, which holds the answer to our seeking our spirit, answer to our seeking our destiny, our freedom from pain and death, rests in NAAM. The one essential aspect of NAAM is sthir ghar, is stable mind, errand mat. So if we want to visit NAAM, we need to have a stable mind. And we also need to find a Guru. Because without Guru, we can't transcend the ego. In the Siddh Gosht, Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj tells us one of the two things which I have noted about meeting the Guru is that Guru gives us Naam. Pure Gurte Naam paya jaye. Naam is an energy which is expansive, which is loving. And then he also says, Satguru ke janme gaman mitaya. When we meet our Guru, we leave the wandering and we find a new life, a new janam. This new janam is the janam of Naam. Janam maran dohu mein nahi, jan paropkari aaye. Ji daan de bhagti layan, harsyo land milaye. These are the people who have come to creation to give the gift of Jivan Daan, of Naam. Ji daan de bhagti layan. This is the ultimate gift, the ultimate philanthropy, the gift of Naam, Bhakti Lion. And this is where Bhakti starts from. And these people, by meeting us, meeting those who are separated from the Creator. By meeting them, they make us unite with the Creator. We meet God, Guru, soul, spirit. Man mandar tanves kalandar. Man is my mandar. That's where I will meet my Creator. And he says, Ek shabd mere pran basat hai, bahur janam na aava. Meeting the Shabad, all the doors within us are opened of Naam. Guru Maharaj, Guru Nanak Sahib, Guru Granth Sahib guides us towards Naam in our mind, in our man. While living this ego world, while struggling in our day-to-day crisis, whatever we may be having. But all those crises, the problems, the issues are in the journey. They don't hold a value after the journey. After this body is gone, all these issues of ego, all these issues of success and failure in the physical world have lost all meaning. I may have billions or I may have lost billions. Death will flatten everything. It will equalize everything. Two things will go with us in death. One is the baggage of karam. Punni papi akhana hai. Kar karna likh le jao. Ape beej ape hi khao. Nanak hukmi avo jao. And the wandering is dictated by the ego mind. But the other energy which can be opened while we are living, and where the wandering ceases, is the energy of Naam. So the destiny of death has two opportunities for us. One is to keep wandering in the desire world, through the ego world, where we will find pain, sorrow and happiness together, where we will visit changes constantly, where we will have everything divided in two in the duality world. And the other is the Naam world. If we have opened this lock within ourselves, if we have opened these doors within ourselves of Naam, then the Karam world doesn't control us anymore. It is not our destiny. The Karam world will then be finding its culminations, its completenesses, and its elimination from our lives with the Naam. We know our mind like a turbid pond which is full of dust, where we can't see what is in the mind. It's so much dust. So the mind is not clear. It's not nirmal. It's polluted. It's confused. It's conflicted. But the mind, when it rests, when it finds its peace and its clarity, then we can see what the mind has in it. And in that mind, the most potent energy, the most transcendent energy, the most desirable energy which we want, which we are seeking outside forever, is Naam. Guru also calls it Anand, calls it Hukam. Now, we can keep wandering in this life, in the Karam world. But the Karam world is an overrated situation. So it is not about the good and bad. It's about the dropping the mind completely. It's dropping both good and bad. And finding Naam as the flavor of life. The inner flavor, where we have started going inwards, where the senses world does not dictate the mind anymore, where we go into the depths of our mind and find a different wind blowing, a different essence coming, a smell of fragrance of love, fragrance of anand and happiness, which is unconditional. It has no conditions. That is the state of our inner mind. The state of our inner mind is Amrit, is joy, and there is nothing to be done for it. Non-doing is our need. So when we don't do, when we don't even think, then we are more relaxed. When we don't desire, then our ego is more likely to be dropped. And when the ego gets dropped, we transcend the mind. How do we transcend the mind? How do we move from this ego mind to the NAAM world? For that we need Shabad. एक शब्द मेरे प्राण बसत है और जन्म नाम. So our guru is Shabad. It doesn't need a defined physical guru. Guru by itself is transcending. मुको तार ले रामा तार ले, मैं अजान जंतर पे न जानू, बाप बीठला बांधे. महाराज से नर ते सुर होए जात निमुख में, सतगुर बुद्ध सिखलाई. You were born as a human being, but you became a superhuman. Nar te sur hoye jaat, nimak mein, with the flash of an eyelid, by meeting the Guru. But we can meet the Guru, and it can happen that nothing happens to us. We have gone and found a Guru who is really the true Guru, but nothing changes within us. There is a reason for that. The reason for that is we need to offer our mind to the Guru. Because if our ego mind is not offered, if we don't go sammukh before the Guru, man beche Satgur ke paas, if we don't give up our ego and meet the Guru, if we have a wall of ego between us and the Guru, then the meeting is not in the mind, it's only a physical meeting. And meeting the Guru physically and not in the mind is a lost opportunity. It's a lost opportunity of many lifetimes. But if we can meet the Guru and we have that confidence and we give up our ego mind and we listen to the Guru, suniye, then we get transformed. We get connected to NAAM. Because that is the role of the Guru. Pure gurte naam paya jaye. So Maharaj was asked by the Siddhs, जब हृदय देह न होती तब मन कोठे रहता. When there is no body and place for the heart, where does the mind go? हृदय देह न होती अवधु मन सुन रहा बैरागी. Man goes to the state of sun. Bina rag, bina expression. The mind has no expression left when the body is gone. It collapses into itself. Its karam world is within it. Everything recorded in its karam, in the man. And it has found no rag now. It is not connected to anything. The moment it again finds the body, then again gets disconnected from its inner source. And then it connects to the living world through the energies of the senses. The eyes, touch, feel, hear, say. But if the senses are gone, then where does the mind go? He says that is man ko koi khojo pai. Search this mind. Tan chute man kahan samai. When the body is gone, where does the mind go? Where is that energy gone when the senses are disconnected? When I shut the doors outside world, moond liye darwaze, then what happens to this energy of the man? This is the exploration of NAAM. This is the exploration of this life. This is the exploration of figuring out what death does to us. What death will take away. If I'm able to willingly give that up, if I'm willingly able to detach myself from that which death will take away from me, then I'm already transcended death while I'm living. And Beni, Bhagat Beni says this, that who will find mukti after death? Who knows who will get or not get it? Maran mukut kin pai. He says, for me, mukti means you have found it when you are living. When you have the ability to detach yourself from everything which death will take away from you. and yet find meaning in life. This is NAAM, Maharaj. This is the energy of NAAM. This is the potent energy of transcending death, where Bhagat Kabir then says that marta marta jag mua, mar bhi na jane koi. Aisi marni jo mare bhaur na marna hoye. Nobody knows what is death, but when you know what is death, then you know there is no death. Jis marne te jag dare, mere man anand. That death which everybody fears, my man, he says, is full of anand, full of happiness. Marne hi te paiye puran parmanand. After all, the question to be asked is, what is life? A physical body, relationships, commitment to a career, commitment to status, society, some power or no power. What is this life? Everything which life gave us, we will have to leave at the end of the road. There is nothing in this life which the senses will give us, which we will carry across. The senses gives us pleasurable experiences connected to the body, whether it is sex, sensuality, or dance, drama, play. These are all sensual experiences. Whether it is a commitment to some subject of life which we have energized. Somebody likes to be wealthy, so he energizes that aspect of his life and says, I will commit to money. This is our commitment, our energy, our drug to drug ourselves away from the real reality of life. That is why Guru calls it Maya. This is not real. None of it is real. None of it is permanent. None of it is here forever. Everything which we have, if we have something which we have committed our energy to, which we will not leave at the time of death, then that is to be noted. But if everything in this list of life which we have, if death will take it all away, then what is the real meaning of this life? In the end of this life, what is left? Maharaj explains that the pleasures and joys are like, he can give some examples. One example is a tree, the shadow of a tree, tarvar ki chhao. Like the shadow in a tree keeps moving. So these pleasures and joys and money will keep moving. It's with you today and it's not with you tomorrow. Or he uses the example of sand and he says, like baru ki peet, like the sand is blown away by air, so is life blown away and nothing remains. So Maharaj, what we need to ask ourselves is, where is it we are choosing to go with this life? Where is it that we want to go? Where is it that we are traveling to? Because the Guru Granth Sahib gives us a very different explanation of life. It gives us a very different explanation of an understanding of the man. And redefines everything for us. Daulat Javed Bashat Bandagi, Kun Bandagi, Kun Bandagi, Kun Bandagi. Bhai Nandlal Goa is a poet in Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj's quote. He says, Daulat, wealth. Javed means forever. The wealth forever is bandagi. Bandagi of the Creator. Finding your inner source, your inner mind. And that is the real wealth. That is what is real wealth in our lives, because that will be with us. And nobody can take it away from us. That is empowerment. That is the Raj. So, a kingdom in this earth has to be left behind. But the kingdom of the soul is to be lived forever. Anand Raj. He says, the Raj of Anand is forever and everywhere around me. What is it that we will commit our energy to? I'm not saying we abstain from life, we stop living life. I'm saying we need to explore what is really life. And then make some choices which are different from what we have already chosen. Because if we have chosen only those things which are going to depart from us, then where will life take us? Because death is a certainty. And then if we have only those things which will be taken away from us, then the whole flavor of life is fear. Because we know everything will go away. We are never fearless. But see what Guru Sahib in the Mool Mantar says, Nirpao Nirvair. The two qualities to be really lived of the Creator are fearlessness. And fearlessness can't be found in a shortcut. It has to do with the inner mind. It has to do with the experience of the man in life. Jo sukh ko chahe sada saran Ram ki le. We don't live the Sada life. Sada is timeless, forever. The sadhu is always living the Sada life, choosing the Sada life. And he doesn't commit too much energy to this life. He enjoys it, lives it. But he is willing to leave it whenever he wants, because his foundation of life is not this life. The foundation of the sadhu's life, the bhagat's life, is NAAM. That which is forever. That Anand which will never leave us. And where is that Anand, Maharaj? Anand paya meri maaye Satguru mein paya. The meeting of Guru opens the door of that Anand. That is in NAAM. When the man meets the NAAM, it finds a source, a river of Anand within itself. Bhagat Kabir says a river of Anand is flowing within you. Bathe in it. Just bathe in it. As simple as that. Just go in. In Zen Buddhism, they have this word Zazen, means just sitting. Just sit, go inwards, and go to your source. If we have gone to our source, we have transcended our ego, because our ego is not permanent. I am not a permanent being. I am an opportunity. This is a acceptance which we must meet, that life is dictated by this opportunity of I, which is not forever. It is an opportunity, a chance to understand life in its depth. And that is why we have these egos which we are traveling in. And this ego will go away with death. This I will, if this I keeps traveling, if this ego is my only companion, then wandering is my flavor of life. I will keep wandering and seeking. Find small pleasures and pain, pleasure and pain, meeting and separation, gain and loss. All this will keep coming in its own parallels. And that is like a hell. Because it's not stable. And there is no control we have. And we don't know where we are going. So when he talks about birth, Guru Amar Das says, live chutki lagi trishna, maya amar vartaya. I have broken from my source, live chutki, lagi trishna. Trishna is desire. Gautam Buddha says, desire is our reason for pain, dukh, and life is dukh. Anand Raj, Ravyo sab madde, Jatkat pe khujai. Ravyo, everywhere there is Anand in this creation. Wherever I see, I find Anand. But that Anand will be found when we have first thing is found a stable mind. So a stable mind is to be worked on. That is our homework. If our mind is wandering, if I am talking to you and you are wandering somewhere else, then you're not listening to me. And if you don't listen to the Guru, I'm not the Guru by the way, but if we don't listen to Guru, then the transformation of the man doesn't happen. How does the mind's transformation happen? And how do we transcend the ego? We will go into that. But these two elements we have seen. First is the stable mind, and then is the Guru. And third is the Shabad, the Surt. When the Surt and Shabad meet, then we meet the Guru, and then we transcend this ego mind. See what he says. Kit kit bid jag upje purkha, kit kit dukh binas jai. Where does the world come from? How does the world come about? Home vich jag upje purkha, naam visariye dukh pai. From the ego the world comes about. So every ego which is created is an experience of the Leela of creation. We are all different egos. If these egos are all taken away, there is only the Creator. In our source mind, the Creator sits with us. In our source mind, the soul and the spirit, the one energy who has created us, is sitting within us. So Maharaj says, Kaheri ban khojan jai. Why are you going to the forest to seek Creator, God? Sarvanivasi, Sada Alepa, Tohe Sang Samai. The ever-present energy everywhere is always with you. Pohap mat jo baas basat hai, mukarmaye jaise chai. Like the flower has a fragrance and the mirror has a reflection. Taise hi har base nirantar. Just like that, the Creator is living with you. And where do I seek Him, Maharaj? How do I seek this Creator, Guru Sahib? Kati ko jo pai, seek within yourself. Bahar bhitar ek ko jaane. Outside and inside, we find two worlds. One is the ego world outside. We seek through our senses. If we start going inward, we will find a new world within ourselves. Sufis call it the 11th direction. We try and go inwards. But Maharaj says, inside and out there's only one. Bahar bhitar ek ko jaane. But how I will know, Maharaj? When you meet the Guru. When your thought becomes ekagar. When we have started focusing our mind and stabilizing it. When we have become attentive towards the subject of Naam and energized it, then we will go inward. Bahar bhitar ek ko jaane, e gur gyan batai. Guru teaches us this. This is an experience which Guru gives us. And when the mind is prepared, it happens instantly. Jan Nanak bina pachi ne, mite na pram ki kai. Without knowing that which is within us, the deceit of life will not go away. We will always be wandering in the Maya world. So we need to open this door. And it happens through Gur Prasad, through the Creator's Kirpa. Karam in Sanskrit means doing, action. Karam in Persian means grace, Kirpa, Gur Prasad. So we find the Karam of the Nirankar. So now we come to the subject of Naam and how to visit Naam, how to experience Naam. Shabad is the Guru, Maharaj. Our Guru is going to connect us. When our mind is stable, suppose I am relaxed, I have no desires, I am comfortable, I am feeling free. That's the time. That is the time I use the mind's energy and I go into Shabad. How do I go into Shabad? Gaviye suniye, man rakhiye pav. Now the experience of the mind, when it goes into the senses world, the ego world, it gets distracted, it gets divided. it loses its focus. Guru Arjan Sahib Maharaj says that when you sit in Aradhana of the Nirankar, then you do two things. Savdhan ekagarchit, be attentive and be one mind. Don't be in thoughts. Be thoughtless. There are many different ways of doing it. Something which I have learnt is that if you can do this in darkness, it helps. If you can do it in hours when everybody else is sleeping, it will help. If you have found some rest at night and got up fresh, had a bath, water is a very changing element. It's a very nice element to have with us when you are visiting NAAM. So even a bath will help you, and even washing your face will help you. Suppose you can't go into dhyan, you're not able to stabilize yourself. Wash your face with water. Hydrate your legs. All the stress of the day goes into the legs. So hydrate your legs. It takes away the stress. If you want to really have deeper NAAM experiences, head wash every third or fourth day is necessary. Most of all, a need and prayer within ourselves to find NAAM is essential. So Maharaj says, Gaviye suniye. This man has to be absorbed. The NAAM has to be absorbed. The Shabad has to be absorbed by this man. And the moment we internalize the Shabad, any Shabad we do, which we don't need to open a book for, gutka for, and we can do it with closed eyes. And we say it with our energy. So sound is a good energy to bring the mind to dhyan. So Vaikhari Bani. Bani is of 4 stages. Vaikhari, Para, Pashanti, Madma. These are the different sounds, vibrations. But we say it out. Gaviye suniye. And while saying it, we listen to it, the Shabad. It can be the Mool Mantar, it can be Vaheguru, it can be any other Shabad which we have internalized. The important thing is that we internalize it to a degree where we are so adept at it that it now starts flowing naturally. Now it's become Simran. The Jap has become Simran. Jai har Simran paya ta upad gat kini. When this jap becomes Simran, when I've now remembered where I'm coming from, the road is now getting clearer. Then the Shabad now takes over. It happens in the unconscious level. It happens without our saying it, without our doing it. It is now a tool which is now cleansing the mind constantly in the background, while we are doing our work, while we are living our life, while everything which we are doing. The moment we have a window of silence, it goes into the Shabad. So now let me visit this body of the Japji. Maharaj says that the Shabad kados the mind, that it chisels away the impurities of the mind and purifies the mind. What are the impurities, Maharaj? The ego sediments in the mind are the impurities. Mind is perfection by itself and the creator in its real source. Samadhi, sun, is within us, constantly with us. But what is holding us from Samadhi? It's our ego. Our ego is pushing our energies into different directions. We want a car, we want to take children, care of children. I'm not saying they're wrong or right. I'm saying we have chosen our energies to flow in certain directions and it is not going in then. Moond liye darwaze, baaj ye le anhad baje. Once you have shut the doors of energy to go outside, then they will go inwards towards the celebration world. Anhad baje. Anand is the sound of the Anand within our soul, within our spirit. The sound of creation and celebration. The sound of meeting our Creator. The sound of finding our own source. So this is the commitment which we need to do. Now, how intensely we can do this? Sometimes we may find fear when we do it. Sometimes our bodies will rock when we sit in dhyan. It's all right. All the phases of this are not to be caught on to. So you see different colors. Don't hold on to any experience. Because the Nirankar is not form. It's not shape. It's not a photograph. It's not a murti. It's an experience which is undefined. Avagato nirmay upje. From the undefined comes the purified man. Nirgun te sargun thiya. From the nirgun, undefined, where there is no shape, form, name, from that comes the form of the world. And we want to meet the formless. So no imagination will help. Just let go. And the mind, it goes to its own source, he says. Moondaliye darwaze. Bajiyele anhad baje. Chalte ho man rakhe, amrit chakhe. So Maharaj says, the yoga which we need to do is Surat Shabad Yoga. जैसे जल में कमल निरालम मुर्गाई ने साने सुरत शब्द पव सागर तरिए नानक नाम वखाने. Maharaj says, like a lotus in water, a duck in a pond doesn't drown. Surat and Shabad, these two will make us transcend life while we live it. While we live our opportunities, our desires, our losses and gains, the sorrow and pain, all that experience is going on. But in the background, Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. The Taksal is the mint where the coin is made. He says, in this Shabad, it is drizzling the mind and making a wealth within the mind. What wealth is this, Maharaj? Anand Roop Ravyo Sabmadde. It is the wealth of Nanak Bhagta Sada Vigas. Happiness forever. Suniya Dukh Paap Ka Nas, where the Dukh and the Paap, the sins will all get drowned. He says, Jithe lekha mangiye tithe khade disan. Where they are going to ask for my records, there I find my Guru is standing there. And he's torn away my records. He's torn my karam. And he's given me the nether world. So these are two worlds, Maharaj. Naam world and ego world. If while living the ego world, we have learned how to transcend it, then death will be only a partial loss and it will be a major gain. Because we will gain a life where our inner minds, love and happiness will live forever with us. Where the wandering will go away. Where this reason for getting the body has now fulfilled itself. What we were looking for. We had an opportunity, we had a project, we made a goal of the project and we arrived at the goal. So we were successful, we found rest, we found peace. Just like that, life is a project called NAAM, which trained, where our Creator rests and my ego doesn't go there. So I have to leave the ego outside. So I have to know how to separate my ego from myself. And how will that happen, Maharaj? That happens in the moving mind. We live the ego only in the thought world, in the moving mind. And the Guru helps us transcend the ego world. Home kitho upje, kit sanjam hai jaye. Where does ego come from and how does it go away? Home eho hukum hai. Home is the Creator's order, his hukum. That is how we are all born. Paiye kirt farai, and that is why we are all wandering. This ego is the reason for our wanderings. Home dirag rog hai. This is the intense disease we all have. In fact, the only disease in life is ego if we are not able to transcend it. If we have transcended the ego, it no longer remains our barrier. हाँ में दीर्घ रोग है, दारू भी इसमाए, and the healing also is within it. Because the moment we are able to leave the ego, it solves our problems. And what is the solution, Maharaj? Kirpa करे जे अपनी, तक गुर का शब्द कमाए. नानक कहो सुनो जनो, इत संजम दुख जाए. This is the way we will go away from our pain and sorrow when we depart the ego. Kirpa करे जे अपनी, when we meet the Guru. And how do we meet the Guru? Shabad is the Guru, Maharaj. Shabad Guru Surt Tun Chela. Bhai Nandalal was asked this question. Kit kit bid jag upje purkha. No, sorry. I'll remember it, it'll come. He says, where is the source of my pain? What is the source of sorrow? He says, forgetting your creator is the source of your sorrow. We have forgotten our own source, and we are wandering looking for that source outside. There is a parallel in Hindu mythology which comes from the Mrig Trishna, the musk deer. It has the musk in its tail, and it is searching for where does the essence, the smell come from. And it's wandering, searching for that musk, whereas the musk is always with it. That is all that we are also doing. Mrig Trishna, Kasturi Kundal Base. And we are living the mirage happiness. We think this will make us happy, this will make us... So we are seeking all the time. So Guru says that in this Naam, Shabad, Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal, Kadiye Surt Mat Man Buddh, Kadiye... This Mat, Man and Buddh, they are all chiseled by the Shabad. So we internalize the Shabad. Any Shabad, Mool Mantar, Vaheguru, whatever is very close to our hearts. Thirgar Vaiso Harjan Pyare. And we say it so often, so many times, and we internalize it so that it is now within us all the time. Guru calls this Japo so ajapa jape. A jap which is happening unconsciously. So the real transformation of the mind doesn't happen by my effort. It happens by the Creator's karam, by the Guru's karam, by the Guru's nadar. So we can use a Shabad, internalize it, and make it a project, a life project. Every day we make a corner, we make a place. Naam needs no physical position. If you have a depth in it, you don't even need to sit. But initially, we need to discipline the mind. We need to tie the mind to the Shabad. So we should have a place, we should give it time, and we should fall in love with this Shabad. Love will be the energy which transforms us. If any of you have any questions, you want to say something, you can write out your questions on Zoom and we can discuss them because it's already crossed an hour. And I think I have explained what I wanted to say. So the Shabad is our way of transforming the inner mind. And unconsciously, a jap so ajapa jape. A jap happening within us without my effort. And what does jap do, Maharaj? Maharaj says that this is your way of crossing the world. That when you are able to do jap and internalize the Shabad within you, then you have crossed the world, the life-changing world. So once we have internalized this Shabad and it is working with us, it becomes our energy center. The changing world outside is constantly going to keep happening. That's all right. But while we do that, we live a new world within us. And then there are also associations which happen. Because the Shabad will trigger NAAM, and NAAM is joy within us. So when we have started the Shabad, associations will happen. The joy will come instantly. The moment we have triggered the Shabad within us. The moment our mind is calm and we go into Shabad. Now where does the Shabad go? Take the Shabad up to your Trikuti. This is where we need to ultimately have the Shabad in the Trikuti, the third eye. So if your energies are correlated, you are able to correlate them. Otherwise, don't worry about it. It will go to the Trikuti naturally. Just befriend the Shabad to a degree that it is within us all the time. The subject of NAAM and how to Japo NAAM. Japaman Satnam, Sada Satnam, Sada Satnam. Jan Nanak ko gur Ahmad Dini, Jap har pavjal tarna. By japoing Naam, you cross the changing world into your permanent residence, your ghar, your thir ghar, nij thaon, the source mind. So if there are any questions, we can visit them. You can raise your hand or write out your question. And if there are no questions, then we will go to Anand Sahab and conclude today's session. I need my specs to read this. Breathing techniques. I do meditation through breathing techniques. I have started feeling the need of guru. Being sick, I couldn't have any physical guru. Didn't know where to start from. I could resonate with what you are saying. How can I get more information? Taranji, it's very natural to be lost in the soul world because it's a very grey area. And it is also very easy to get misguided. So, Guru Sahib says a very beautiful thing. He says, Dithe mukut na hovai, jichar shabad na kari vichar. By just bowing to the Guru Granth Sahib, you are not going to find your way. You have to ponder the Shabad. So, a very good way of doing it is to understand the Shabad. But breathing is not a bad thing to do. But the more powerful tool is Shabad. Breathing is definitely a source. But I have found that if we are able to energize the Shabad within us, then that is far more powerful than just breathing. So, breathing Vaheguru in and out is a good way of stabilizing the mind. But what I would do if I was in your place is I would first befriend the Mool Mantar to a very high degree. A very high degree. I don't mean just mere explorations, but the Mool Mantar done so intensely within us that it becomes a part of me, and you don't leave saying it out aloud. You keep saying it out aloud. And then you leave it after you found that now it is already present in the mind. So then it goes internalized, gets internalized. I don't think that a physical presence is essential for in spirituality. Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj defines it, but Sangat is a very powerful tool. So whenever we are confused, if we have a Sangat where only Naam is recited, where only Naam is the subject, where there are no debates or issues of discourses, but only Naam is done. So what I do is that we have these few friends we do on Saturday, Sunday, publicly. We do Kirtan in the morning at home. So one another way is that you can learn an instrument, learn the harmonium, or if you are adept in music, you can learn other things and do your Shabad recitation in this another way. This is the other way of tying the mind to Shabad. But audio tapes of Shabad, listening to Shabad on YouTube or listening to Shabad on the radio or other instruments, it's not going to work. It's superficial. The ego mind has to be transcended through the Shabad, the experience of Shabad and Surt within us. So we must learn how to go within, to calm the mind. The 38th body of the Japji defines this very completely when he says, Jat pahara tirad sunyar. Jat is breaking away the energy from the committed centers of what ego world we live, the sense world. Tirad sunyar. Tiraj is being patient. Tiraj is our patience is going to pay off. So have a large heart. Don't sit in expectation. Just do. Tirad sunyar, ahran mat, stable mind, thoughtless mind. That is the key, because the Shabad is going to have its effect on the stable mind. If the Shabad is being said and my mind is wandering, that is why the charisma doesn't happen. Ahran mat ved hathyar. Ved is the Shabad. Paukhala, the fear of life, death, change, loss. That is our energy center. We use that energy. Paukhala, agan tap tao. That is our tap. That is our Shabad, the recitation of Shabad and making it a part of me internally. Panda pao, it becomes love then. When fear becomes love within us, when recitation of Shabad makes us feel in love, not with a person or a thing or a situation, but the situation of love within the mind. Amrit Tijtal, that's when the Amrit has now started getting transformed in the mind. Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. So, ek Shabad mere pran basat hai. This is the Shabad. Make it your pran. You are making breath your pran. That is already your pran, your source mind. But focus on the Shabad to stabilize the mind, that is all very nice. But once we have done that, it is the Shabad which takes over the mind. No, Gagandeep. Had a thought, when we push our kids to be more competitive and give more energy in picking up more skills, is it taking them away from truth? Well, one way is that we connect them to Naam. While we are making them competitive in the ego world, that has its role. But are we connecting them to Naam? Are they doing Naam Jap as a natural thing and not as a forced thing? That is the real gift they will have. If we can sit with them and do Jap for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even that will pay off. That will be the gift which will live with them forever. That is the real blessing. Puta Mata ki Asis. Nimakna visre tumko har har. Sada bhajo Jagdish. That is the real gift we can give them. Taranji, thank you. Can you please explain how to meditate with Mool Mantar? Well, how do you meditate? Sit. Calm your mind first. Watch your breath and calm your mind. And then say it out loud. Ek Omkar, Satnam, Karta, Purukh. Nirpau, Nirvair, Akal Murat, Ajuni Saivang Gur Prasad. And then we keep saying it. And in darkness, if we can do it at early hours when everybody else is sleeping, you're not disturbed, use the Pichli Raat. That's when the energies are all alive. When the Guru's presence is far more powerful, you can feel it more. The doors of flux are open, where the mind's doors are open for experience. How do we know where is Shabad? Like you said, Trikuti. Shabad will go to Trikuti on its own. First, keep reciting the Shabad. I said it will naturally happen. What people call the Kundalini, all this with Shabad, when the mind is cleansed, it goes to its source. You don't have to make any efforts to do it then. What we need to do is befriend the Shabad and make it our tools of cleansing the mind. Which Guru Sahib says in the Japji, that when the mind is full of pap, NAAM is cleansing it. Yes. Any specific time for meditation? Any time is good. But if you can do it in the early hours of 3 to 6 in the morning, that's far better. But if you can't do it, you have a full life ahead, don't get bogged down by it. If you do it after you have woken up, that is better, whatever time you wake up. Because your mind has already found its rest in sleep. Otherwise, people will sleep in the meditation. So you have found your sleep, and then after you have got up, you go into your Shabad, the experience of Shabad. Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. Jinko Nadar Karam Tinkar. And then pray for Nadar. Prayer is an essential aspect of this whole process. Ji. No more questions, or if there are any more questions? Here is someone volunteer to do Anand Sahib, the Bani of Anand. Vaheguru Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj. Tan Tan Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Somebody new in our... Ji.
Taran Ben says comment in the chat box.
Ji. Hanji? There is some more. Is there any community I can connect with? I don't know, physical community, I don't know where you are. We are in Delhi here. I don't know where is your...
I'm in Jalandhar, sir. But it is okay. I can connect online also.
That is fine. We do this at the YouTube in the morning, but that's not a very... I don't desire that too much, but we have people from Canada and all attending, so we do the Kirtan in the morning. What I would suggest is that you pick up a harmonium and you learn some Shabads, and in the darkness of the morning, if you can wake up and do some Shabads, and then say the Mool Mantar out also. Then actually the beauty of Shabad is that it is an energy by itself. So hopefully, if you are traveling to Delhi, then we can do some sessions of Dhyan and Shabad here. Otherwise, if and when we come to Jalandhar, we can let you know. Or we can just communicate like this, and you keep giving your feedback, and we'll see where it goes. It is your desire which will drive this whole energy, because this is a journey which needs energy. So that will be your desire. Ji, Tarun ji raised your hand. Hanji. Ji Maharaj.
Hanji.
Ji. Sat Shri Akal.
It'll be nice if you can do it every Saturdays.
We do Saturday, Sunday sessions. We have Sukhmani Sahib tomorrow at the same time.
Okay.
And then Saturday morning we have Kirtan at 4:30 to 6:30.
Again in the Zoom?
Ji.
Thank you, Viji.
Thank
It's a
you.
real, very nice opening for me. I am into meditation from past 5 years, but hun kuch shabad hi si taraf se I somehow got.
If you want any guidance on meditation, we can discuss it, but dhyan is a very good thing to have, one. But us dhyan nu le jana kithe hai? That will be the Shabad. So surat, knowledge of the surat, knowledge of the dhyan will bring us to the Trikuti. But beyond that, the Guru is needed.
ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਸਕੀਨ ਜੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਸਨ, ਲਾਈਕ I verbally met him, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਸਨ ਕਿ ਉੱਪਰੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵਹਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਭੀ ਤੱਕ ਆਏ। or we'll discuss it later.
ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬ੍ਰੈਥ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾਭੀ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਰੀ ਬ੍ਰੈਥ ਨਾਭੀ ਤੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨੂੰ ਵਰਤ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਬਟ ਤਰਦੀਪ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਿਲ ਸਟੇਬਲਾਈਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਕਾਮ ਦ ਮਾਈਂਡ, ਬਟ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਹੈ। ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਮੂਲ ਮੰਤਰ ਦਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ, ਦੈਟ ਇਜ਼ ਯੋਰ ਚੋਇਸ, what makes you happier and easier for you. But Mool Mantar was called the Mahamantar by Guru Arjan Sahib in the Pothi, which is the Kartarpuri bead. It is called the Mahamantar that ends with Gur Prasad. If you can make this, because that is it's the Mool, the foundation stone of the whole Guru Granth Sahib. And it has everything in it. So if you can do that, your transformation will happen with Shabad. See, we have 4 bodies of Sunay. So by listening to Shabad, the transformation happens, then the mind goes into Manan. And from Manan it goes into Panch. When it has transcended the ego, it becomes Panch. Panch Parvan, Panch Pardhan, Panche Pave, Dargehman. Dargehman opened your 10th door. Dasam Dwar, Kunchi Jab Dije. तब दयाल को दर्शन कीजिए।
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome. I'm glad. Vaheguru ji. Can someone do the Mool Mantra, Anand Sahib ji? No volunteers for Anand Sahib? ਮਨਦੀਪ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ, ਅਨੁਦੀਪ। ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਰਾਮ ਕਲੀ ਮਹਲਾ ਤੀਜਾ। ਆਨੰਦ ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਆਨੰਦ ਪਿਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਏ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਇਆ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਦਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਸਹਿਜ ਸੇਤੀ ਮਨ ਜੀਆਂ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ। ਰਾਗ ਰਤਨ ਪਰਵਾਰ ਭਰੀਆਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਗਾਵਨ ਆਈਆਂ। ਸ਼ਬਦੋ ਤਗਾਵੋ ਹਰਿ ਕੈ ਰਾਮ ਮਨ ਜਨੀ ਵਸਾਇਆ। ਕਹਿ ਨਾਨਕ ਆਨੰਦ ਹੋਆ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਇਆ। ਏ ਮਨ ਮੇਰਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਸਦਾ ਰਹੋ ਹਰ ਨਾਲੇ। ਹਰ ਨਾਲ ਰਹੋ ਤੂੰ ਮਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਦੁਖ ਸਭ ਵਿਸਾਰਨਾ। ਅੰਗੀਕਾਰੋ ਕਰੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਕਾਰਜ ਸਭ ਸਵਾਰਨਾ। ਸਭਨਾ ਗਲਾਂ ਸਮਰਥ ਸੁਆਮੀ ਸੋ ਕਿਉ ਮਨੁ ਵਿਸਾਰੇ। ਕਹੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਮਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਦਾ ਰਹੋ ਹਰ ਨਾਲੇ। ਸਾਚੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਾ ਕਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਤੇਰਾ। ਕਰਤਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਦੇਵੇ ਸੋ ਪਾਵੇ। ਸਦਾ ਸਿਫਤ ਸਲਾਹ ਤੇਰੀ ਨਾਮ ਮਨ ਵਸਾਵੇ। ਨਾਮ ਜਿਨ ਕੇ ਮਨ ਵਸਿਆ ਵਾਜੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਨੇਰੇ। ਕਹੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਨਕ ਮੁਝੇ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਤੇਰਾ। ਸਾਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਧਾਰੋ। ਸਾਚ ਨਾਮ ਆਧਾਰ ਮੇਰਾ। ਜਿਨ ਭੁੱਖਾਂ ਸਭ ਗਵਾਈਆਂ। ਕਰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਸੁਖ ਮਨ ਆਇ ਵਸਿਆ। ਜਿਨ ਇੱਛਾ ਸਭ ਪੁਜਾਈਆਂ। ਸਦਾ ਕੁਰਬਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਵਿਟੋ। ਜਿਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਵਡਿਆਈਆਂ। ਕਹੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਣੋ ਸੰਤੋ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤਰੋ ਪਿਆਰੋ।
ਸਾਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਧਾਰੋ ਵਾਜੇ। ਪੰਜ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤੇ ਘਰ ਸਵਾਗੇ, ਘਰ ਸਵਾਗੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਾਜੇ। ਜਿਤ ਕਰ ਧਾਰਿਆ ਪੰਚ ਦੂਤ ਤੁਧ ਵਸ ਕੀਤੇ, ਕਾਲ ਕੰਟਕ ਮਾਰਿਆ। ਤੁਰ ਕਰਮ ਪਾਇਆ ਤੁਧ ਜਿਨ ਕੋ, ਸੇ ਨਾਮ ਹਰ ਕੇ ਲਾਗੇ। ਕਹੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਤੈ ਸੁਖ ਹੋਆ, ਤਿਤ ਕਰ ਅਨਹਦ ਵਾਜੇ। ਆਨੰਦ ਸੁਣੋ ਵਡ ਭਾਗੀ ਹੋ, ਸਗਲ ਮਨੋਰਥ ਪੂਰੇ। ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਪਾਇਆ, ਉਤਰੇ ਸਗਲ ਵਿਸੂਰ। ਦੁਖ ਰੋਗ ਸੰਤਾਪ ਉਤਰੇ, ਸੁਣੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ। ਸੰਤ ਸਾਜਨ ਭੈ ਸਰਸੇ, ਪੂਰੇ ਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਣੀ। ਸੁਣਤੇ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਕਹਤੇ ਪਵਿੱਤ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਰਹਾ ਭਰਪੂਰੇ। ਬਿਨਵੰਤ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਚਰਨ ਲਾਗੇ, ਵਾਜੇ ਅਨਹਦ ਤੂਰੇ। ਪਵਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਿਤਾ, ਮਾਤਾ ਧਰਤ ਮਹਤ। ਦਿਵਸ ਰਾਤ ਦੋਇ ਦਾਈ ਦਾਇਆ, ਖੇਲੇ ਸਗਲ ਜਗਤ। ਚੰਗਿਆਈਆਂ ਬੁਰਿਆਈਆਂ, ਵਾਚੇ ਧਰਮ ਹਦੂਰ। ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ, ਕੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਕੇ ਦੂਰ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਇਆ, ਗਏ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਤ ਕਾਲ। ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ, ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਇਆ, ਗਏ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਤ ਕਾਲ। ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ, ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਆਲ ਆਫ ਯੂ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।